in early fall months. So keep up the good work, and keep being an awesome place to hang out, man.
And the bingo's great too.
I have heard. I haven't done the bingo myself, but I've heard from my better half that is indeed true.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, thank you for everything you guys do and for hosting a lot of great events. And if people want to find out some more information about the tap, where can they find out about it?
On Facebook.
Awesome.
Facebook, Google. I mean,
awesome.
Google it.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah, whatever.
Just look it up.
Awesome. I love it, man.
Rock Island Tap.
And do you guys have any merchandise here?
We do have some. At the moment, we're looking into getting some more merch ordered, so
Okay.
we will have more coming soon.
I love the merch.
Look for that later this summer, then.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome, Josh. Well, we know you guys are absolutely busy here tonight, so we're going to let you get back to your wonderful duties. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back with our interview of the night with Seth Minders in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Krista Sellers, driver of the 7K Figure 8 race truck. I race at local figure 8 tracks across southern Iowa. One of my good sponsors is CJ at Sigourney Motors. Next time you or someone you know is looking for a good used vehicle or in need of some minor repairs, you can contact CJ at Sigourney Motors. Give them a call at 641-224-8056 or stop by 705 East Jackson Street in Sigourney, Iowa. Hope to see you at the races or at CJ's shop.
At Copeland Auto Body, we strive to be the area's consistent provider of advanced collision repair. We want all of our customers to have a stress-free experience when they bring their car to Copeland Auto Body. Give them a call at 641-653-2140. Find them online at CopelandAutoBody.com. Copeland Auto Body, located in Hedrick, Copeland Collision Center in Oskaloosa, and Copeland Towing and Recovery in Sigourney. For auto body and towing for Hedrick, Oskaloosa, and Sigourney, see Copeland Auto Body.
At Nutrien Ag Solutions, we are dedicated to your success. We partner with growers like you to expand your possibilities with unparalleled offerings. Your unique challenges are met with more customized solutions than anyone else can offer. With you, we're feeding the future together.
Stop by James Family Greenhouse and Produce in Sigourney. They have a variety of hanging baskets, annuals, shrubs, perennials, trees, mulch, and vegetable plants. Plus, you can spruce up your landscape with yard decor or decorate the inside of your home with home decor. James Family Greenhouse is also a great place to stop in for some gift ideas. You got to stop in and see it all for yourself. James Family Greenhouse at 701 East Jackson in Sigourney. And be sure to follow their page on Facebook. And we are coming back to the Rock Island Tap in Oskaloosa for the Tuesday night tune-up, thanks to all of our sponsors that make our broadcast possible. Let's take it back to Safe, Curtis, and our guest for tonight, Mr. Seth Minders. Safe, take it away.
Welcome back, race fans, to TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. And with us tonight, he drives the number 65 Sport Compact. We have Seth Minders with us. Seth, thanks for coming on and talking with Curtis and I about some Sport Compact racing.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Seth, not everyone necessarily knows you. Why don't you give us a little back history into you, how you got started into racing, and to where you are now driving the number 65 Sport Compact?
Well, I've always wanted to race. I figured getting into four bangers would be cheap and easy, and
Yeah, Safe, get it right. It's four bangers.
Yeah,
Sorry,
not
definitely
Sport
four
Compact.
bangers.
Sorry,
Come
okay.
it's definitely not as easy as I thought it was at first, but I think we're getting the hang of it and getting the knowledge.
I've never watched a race that I couldn't win. Okay, so
That's fair.
Now, is it true what they say about these cars and that they're half the cylinders, twice the drama?
Yes, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of drama that comes along with it, but I'm just here for it. I enjoy it, I guess.
And, you know, one thing I've noticed from watching Sport Compacts, especially at the Southern Iowa Speedway, is everyone says, you know, oh, it's a Cavalier, how exciting can it be, you know, and stuff like that. But honestly, anytime you watch a Sport Compact race at the Southern Iowa Speedway, it is one of the toughest races to win, one of the hardest battles that you'll see, really from first all the way through, it seems, 10th on back. So what does it really take to win at the Monster Half Mile?
I will say it takes some nuts because you got to keep momentum. A lot of people think you just put this big motor in a car and try to floor it around the track, but if you're just roasting the tires off, you're not really going anywhere. So
you tell me what you think of this, but it seems like at the bigger racetracks, any little mistake or any blip of the throttle or you got in at the wrong angle and now you got to make a correction, it just seems like on the bigger racetracks that's magnified so much.
Yeah.
And it makes such a huge difference. And you screw up one little area in a corner in the four-cylinder car, and all of a sudden it may take you a lap or 2 laps or 3 laps or whatever to earn that same real estate back that you lost in a very short time.
Yeah, absolutely. I've lost. You just mess up a little bit going early or anything. You lose a lot of momentum, and for them little 4-cylinders, it takes a while to get momentum going back.
No doubt.
So, the Sport Compact class when it started was pretty cut and dry on rules, but then you start seeing guys that were taking their cars to Guy by Mason City, putting them on dynos, doing some different things in the engines and whatnot.
I think it's like anything else, right? There's an evolution process, right? I think we're going to see the same thing with the Crown Vic class.
Oh, absolutely.
In the area this summer where it starts out to be this great idea, and I fully support it, but I think that it's easy to get like you started to allude to, the tuned engines, the different camshafts, the different computers, and and all that stuff. And just talk a little bit, Seth, if you would, about kind of. You obviously know that way better than I do. I just know what I hear when people stop in the shop and they're talking about stuff. I don't live and breathe it like you do. So, walk us through, if you would, kind of what that if you would, progression of the class has kind of been like over the years through your career.
Yeah, people have definitely gotten faster. There's so much you can do with these cars, and you can do so much to these motors. It's honestly crazy. People have made almost 350 horsepower out of a 4-cylinder Ecotec.
Holy mackerel.
And it's just like, I don't understand it.
Right, so that's kind of and to me as a spectator, and then, racing hobby stocks, even for the short time I did, but then looking into it, the amount of money that's going into some of these sport compacts now, what's that like on your side being in these cars, knowing that it kind of went from that progression of where it started to now? Yeah,
I've seen people spend $10,000 on a front-wheel drive car, and it just blows my mind.
Wow. Yeah. And so in your eyes as a racer, what's that like, knowing that you have guys that are doing things like that, but how necessary really is that in this class?
I try to just prove myself and to other people that you can do it without the money, and just trying to learn as you go. I've sat in the shop hours just trying to figure out setups just to try to make it faster, instead of putting 300 horsepower into it. Like on the starts, I always back off a couple cars because I don't have the power a lot of people do. But after a few laps, I can get the momentum, and I get through the corners a lot better than most people do.
Yeah, I think that, again, as Safe mentioned, as a spectator, right, I'm not involved in that class, but watching it, it seemed like, especially last year, and maybe I just didn't notice it as much, in the previous years, but last year especially, the corners really were your bread and butter. That's really where you made your time.
Yeah, I try to just be smooth, not turn the wheel basically at all through them corners, and I gain a lot, especially if I'm on the high side. I get a lot of momentum out of it, but there's a lot of the time I get outmotored, and that's just the way it works. I just try to get faster.
Sure, and so a big thing in those cars, obviously, are it seems like the tires now. Not I don't mean the brand or anything like we talk about with Hoosiers and prepping necessarily and all that, but you see a lot of mix match kind of tire sizes on these cars. So how important is it to kind of get that balance right of the tires on the front of those things?
So all our gearing is with our tire size. So if
between the transmission gear and then your tire size, right?
correct.
Yep.
So like if we were to run a shorter track, we'd put a bigger 15-inch tire
Okay.
on it, and then when I run Oski, I run third gear on a 14-inch wheel.
Okay. So
Okay,
the
interesting.
rollout of the shorter tire actually makes it like that's a longer gear so that you can
Correct, yeah.
can be turn the right RPM at the end
Yep.
of the straightaway or whatever. Okay.
Which is different than the other classes. You know,
Right.
Yeah, we're
you
not
guys
switching.
change
yeah,
gears
right.
and
We
stuff.
changed the gear in the rear end
How
and
nice it
run
would
the
be
same
to just
tires.
run it different tires.
Yeah, that actually it's interesting because
It
that
is.
does kind of take me back to like, in the mid to late 90s, I was doing the legend car thing. And that's what we did a lot of times. We would,
Okay.
it was a 5-speed motorcycle transmission, a 1200cc Yamaha engine. And you may go to a little tiny track like Eddyville, run third gear. You may go to a bigger track like Cedar Rapids and run fourth gear. Then you go to a 3/8 mile in Elko, Minnesota, and now you're running fifth gear.
Yep.
And
So like our shorter tracks, we'll run second gear a lot
okay.
with a bigger tire.
Yep.
So
yep.
are most guys running manuals in those cars? Is automatics not really a...
There's some automatics, and I've got beat by plenty of automatic cars, but I mean, people can make them faster. Just you got a torque converter, and I just feel like it takes a lot of power out of it. I've always ran a manual. I've been happy with that. So
Cool.
So what are some of the biggest challenges that you're seeing right now in the progression of this class? Obviously there's a lot more drivers now. Everyone's been in it for a little bit, it seems, and everyone's kind of really stepped their game up.
I would say people are figuring out these motors like crazy, and I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they're good at it. And if you have a lot of power, and especially on a half mile, I mean, you can notice it. You can barely get through the corner and still power down the back stretch or the front stretch and get by. So, I mean, I would say our motors people are figuring them out.
Yeah. How does that compare? Maybe so obviously some pretty major advancements on the power plant side of things.
Yeah.
How does that compare to like your setups and stuff like that? It seems like you're in a little bit of a box, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
only so much you can do, but you can set
Basically
your
cut
caster and
springs
yeah,
and do
right.
Okay.
camber and caster. That's
Okay.
about it.
I didn't know if you mess with sway bars or
Nope. So you don't have to run a sway bar in IMCA.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we just cut them out, and then that's about it. I cut the left side down and call it good.
get your ride height lower down on that
Yep.
left side
Interesting.
and put her in the box and go get it, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, and try not to stay full throttle or it's gonna push.
So if anyone's wanting to come watch you and the number 65 car racing, where are you all going to be at this year?
I never really plan on anything. I
like it.
I like Oski.
It's a great strategy.
I just kind of show up here and there just to say hi to people. And I went to Marshalltown a couple times last year. Went to Eldon a few times, won there. And I really don't know. I plan on racing at Oski weekly, and then we'll go from there.
So what's the next steps for you? Are we thinking Sport Compact? Are you looking at maybe changing classes here eventually at all?
I've raced a sport mod. I've raced hobby stocks. I enjoy it all, but at the end of the day, I just don't have the time or money to sit here and work on a car 40 hours a week or so. And I enjoy the compact because it sits in the trailer about most of the year. And I go there, unload it, and maybe change the oil. That's about it.
Yeah, well, I mean that fits not only your financial budget but your time budget as well, right?
Yep.
You've got more than one child that you chase after all the time, right? So tell us a little bit about the family.
So I got a daughter that's 5, and then I got 3 step boys, and I mean we're constantly playing ball. We got another kid due in July, so
Oh, congrats, man!
I mean,
Oh, nice.
we are busy. So the easier it is just to not work on it and keep it together is best for me.
Yeah, well, and it keeps you involved, right? And it keeps you on the racetrack, and it's obviously an extremely competitive deal. How many years have you been in racing overall?
I think my first year was, that's a good question, 2020, and it was COVID year, so I raced the last race at Memphis, and I went out there, and Trent Orwig, my buddy, was helping me, and Billy Kane, and Trent's like, just go out there and see what it does. So we went out there, didn't do very good in the heat, came back and won the B main, and then it rained out. But it was, after then I loved it, and then I think we started racing full time after that, at Oski at least.
That's hilarious. My first race was at Memphis.
It's a fun track. But
it is. It's kind of daunting when it's your first time getting into a car, though, and you're down in Memphis, especially after you see like 3 or 4 people hit that backstretch wall. It's kind of like, I don't want to do that.
Yep.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Well, that's awesome. So we'll look forward to seeing you, obviously, at Oski. You're hoping to defend that championship, right?
Yep, correct.
And then just depends on which way the wind blows.
Yeah,
and where the ball
I mean,
games
I'm
are
sure
at,
I'll
right?
show up to Eldon and Bloomfield and other tracks around. I'd like to hit Marshalltown again. Went to Stewart a couple times, never had any luck there.
That's a tough track.
I actually really like Stewart, and the first time I went there, I went out for hot laps and hit the wall first lap. So then we drove 2 hours back home, and I got to go redeem myself. I didn't do very good. And I was out leading it, and they had a caution in the compact class, and they canceled the whole race that night. So I'm like, I'm just don't think I'm belong here anymore. So I haven't made the trip again, but I would like to go back.
Yeah.
So you just talking about how you went to Stewart, you went to Marshalltown stuff, but you're the defending track champion at Oski. Why don't you tell us what that felt like when you won that track championship?
It was good. I've tried for quite some time now, and I've had trouble keeping stock motors together. It's hard getting a good junkyard motor that stays running, but it's very hard and takes a lot of time because you got to make sure your stuff's good and at least try to get top 3 or so. And I felt like I did pretty good this year staying up there. I was trying to just race everyone good, and things happen. We all got into each other a little bit, but it's racing. We all love it and enjoy it, and at the end of the day, we all want to win. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's arguably one of the hardest classes to win at Oski. I mean, every time you see a sport compact feature there, it is half the cylinders, twice the drama, it seems.
Yeah, and I think,
and I don't mean drama in a bad way.
No,
I mean
no.
it's very.
I think there is some drama sometimes in
yeah.
a bad way as well. But I've heard some fans, and maybe some competitors mention, sport compacts are up. We're gonna go to the bathroom or go to the concession stand or whatever. And I'm just like, obviously we're in the pits, we're doing our own thing, right? But at the same time, it seems like that the competition is just so close. And not that the other classes aren't close. It's just, maybe 8 or 10 cars are really close. And it almost kind of gives you a super speedway feel with the smaller cars on that great big track, Plus, those cars I think are, just, being front wheel drive, it's just completely unique. The things that you do to make it turn or that sort of stuff. So I know it's always exciting for us. So as with any racing program, it takes a lot of support. And that support comes in a lot of different forms, right? Yeah. Money from sponsors, time from crew guys and gals to support with the better half and the little ones letting you be away from home to do that stuff. Would you walk us through what that support system looks like for you with your sponsors and family, friends, crew guys, crew gals, and obviously the home team to keep everything going?
Yeah, so my fiance, she deals with a lot. I mean, I'm sure she hears me nag about the car a lot. But her, and then I got Cheese, my brother.
Wait, Cheese.
Justin Johnson. Cheese is back here.
There he is.
You know, anytime I need help with something, he's always there. And
So if I just yell Cheese, he's coming running.
he's coming.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's test that real quick.
Give him about 20 minutes. He'll be there.
I
But,
love it.
yeah, I got him, and then Mike Weber. He's my brother-in-law, and right now I moved houses, and I don't have a welder at my house, so he's been doing all my welding, and I've had to call him, like, last minute on everything.
Nice.
He's always helped me out, so.
Yeah, definitely takes a village. What about your sponsors?
Yep, so basically I got Champion Bull, Cheese Fab Shop is what we call it, and then Mike's Weld Shop, my grandpa, and then just my family.
Yeah, that's wonderful,
amazing.
man.
awesome.
That's what it takes. But I mean, I think for the folks, watching or listening to this, that's just a really good glimpse into what it really takes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just it. You just named off, 10 or 12 different people that are involved with your race car. And I think that's one of the coolest things about, our grassroots racing that we participate in is it's so much more than just the guy on the track,
Yeah.
Or the gal on the track. It's moms and dads, and it's brothers and sisters, and it's cousins and friends and friends of friends, and it's all
grandparents.
right.
We had Dale Porter hop on this year, and he paid for our wrap this year, so huge thanks to him.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Dale's as good as they come. So.
Yep, he is.
Absolutely. No, Seth, we just want to wish you luck again this year. Thanks for coming on and talking with us here tonight and giving us more of a glimpse into that sport compact world and everything that goes on in it.
Yep, absolutely, anytime. So,
Yeah.
thank you, guys.
No problem. Well, folks, that's been it for our interview here tonight on TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back with some results in just a few minutes.
Looking for a laid-back bar with a great selection? Head to the Rock Island Tap at 206 Rock Island Avenue in Oskaloosa. With 24 beers on tap, you'll find everything from craft brews to your favorite domestics, plus whiskey and ice-cold Bloody Marys. Grab a snack with popcorn, chips, or a frozen pizza, or better yet, bring your own food and make it your kind of night. Just remember, 21 and over only. And yes, you'll need your ID. The Rock Island Tap in Oskaloosa. Simple, relaxed, and all about good drinks and good times.
If you've had a run-in with a deer, a fender bender, or any sort of accident with your vehicle, take it to Tony and the guys at Sigourney Body Shop at 210 West Clark Street in Sigourney. They'll get you back on the road in no time, and Tony will help you out with a free estimate. It's service with a smile at Sigourney Body Shop. Give them a call at 641-622-2022, or again, stop in at 210 West Clark Street in Sigourney. Schedule your next dental appointment with Dr. Dan Schuster at Oski Dental, 641-673-4845. They're accepting new patients. Oski Dental will file all of your insurance forms for you. They're a Delta dental provider. And Oski Dental is located at 902 South 17th Street in Oskaloosa. That's Oski Dental, 641-673-4845. We make smiles happen at Oski Dental. Signs Plumbing, offering top quality plumbing services, boilers, and general HVAC and furnace repairs. Call James at 641-919-8973. You can also find Signs Plumbing on Facebook. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling services, call Signs Plumbing at 641-919-8973. Signs Plumbing at 208 Ackerd Street in Harper, serving the surrounding area. For top quality service, call Signs Plumbing.
Vans Racing in Oskaloosa is your local one-stop shop for all racing and performance-related parts, sales, and service. With a combined 50-plus years of racing knowledge and experience, Curtis and Cole are ready to help you go faster, have more fun, and save money. From driver safety equipment to race tires and racing fuel to racing lubricants, Vans Racing has you covered with all major brands. Stop by 705 South D Street in Oskaloosa or call 641-660-8900 to experience the Vans Racing difference.
And we're back here at the Rock Island Tap in Oskaloosa for the Tuesday night tune-up. Yeah, we got a rocking crowd here in Oskaloosa tonight at the Rock Island Tap. Make sure you stop in. Thanks to Seth Minders for being our race guest tonight. We're going to take it back to Safe and Curtis for a wrap-up of our area racing. Guys.
Absolutely. Welcome back, race fans, to TNT, the Tuesday night tune-up. And, Curtis, we had some racing finally happen around here.
Yeah, Mother Nature kind of let up and
It did.
allowed us to get almost a full weekend in, and it was a pretty big weekend, especially with the World of Outlaws coming to Knoxville.
It was, yeah, 2-day show over in Knoxville, as they call it now. Don't tell me why or how that decided to become their new name, but that's what
just
they've
be
gone
quiet
with.
about it,
We're not gonna touch that any
Yeah.
further than we have to. But
Nope.
2 good nights of racing up there. The first night we saw the co-owner of the High Limit Series win, Brad
Thought that was
Sweet.
interesting.
And then the second night, we saw your defending and reigning champ in the World of Outlaws, David Gravel, in the 2-car pick up a win there with Big Game. But I tell you what, though, that if there were a few laps left, we definitely could have possibly seen the reigning Knoxville Nationals champ pick up a W there. So
Yeah, Tim's was coming, So
He was.
It's just it was just one of those deals, right? Each race is a certain amount of laps, so you get a certain amount of laps, and whether you're coming or not, right? The laps ran out. So.
And same thing with Carson Macedo there. He had a pretty good run going. There may or may not have been some contact with the number 5 car.
Yep.
I think they had a little talk afterwards, but it all looked good. I mean, that's the thing about Knoxville, though. I mean, when it gets lane, it really didn't necessarily get lane dominant there. There were 2 lanes. Both were working pretty well, but towards the ends there, when it starts to take rubber,
Yeah,
you're just going to have to make some moves. And I mean, luckily everyone was able to hold it together, but it's it's just part of how the cookie crumbles there.
Yeah, especially when it takes rubber, it's pretty well over at that time unless somebody blows a tire. So
Right.
you hate to see that, but
You do.
at the same time,
They had a lot of entries, though.
Yeah,
I mean, when you have to start running non-qualifiers there.
Right. That it's. I'm not going to say it's expected because I don't think it's expected, and I know Chris Duncan and the crew that do the track over there. They don't want that, but sometimes there's some atmospheric, wind blowing, a little bit of extra sun, racing the night before. All those things probably added up to that. So plus, it's like anything else. You continue to build your book of knowledge and try not to repeat that next time.
Absolutely. So, yeah, but great racing there. We had some other great racing throughout Friday
Absolutely.
night as well over at Columbus Junction Speedway.
Yep.
They had a great show over there.
Yeah, they had their season opener, and beautiful night for racing. Track looked like it was in good shape. Kudos to those guys for getting that done. And interestingly enough, just down the highway, Lee County, Donaldson, they had to cancel late in the afternoon.
They did.
So some of those cars that looked like maybe made it over to Columbus Junction. So
Yeah.
Kind of an interesting night at the track, though.
It was. So, in the modified class, we saw Troy Cortez picking up the win.
Yep.
The stock cars and hobby stocks were won by a father-son duo. In the stock cars, we saw Nathan Woods picking up the win and his son Braden Woods picking up the hobby stock win. So always cool to see something like that happen.
Yeah.
Especially that we've had them on the show and talking to them, and 2 very talented drivers.
Yeah, definitely good to see that. They certainly a special father-son moment that most fathers can only dream about. So congratulations to the Wood family.
And speaking of dreaming father moments, your son Cole Vanderwall picked up another win in the Sport Mods.
Yeah, so he did a wonderful job. We had some mechanical issues that he was we didn't fully get him figured out until Saturday, and he was battling through that. He was going to run a distant third, but the two leaders kind of got together, and one of them spun out, and the other one got penalized. So Cole kind of inherited the lead, as a result of that. But had to battle those mechanical issues and go ahead and get run all the laps and get to victory lane, and he was able to do that. So big kudos to him, and hopefully it's even better this week for him.
Absolutely. That's just really cool to see. I know Cole's put a lot of time and effort into that car. I know you've put a lot of time into it as well. So
yeah,
always nice to see that.
He was especially emotional, with my dad passing away last fall. He definitely, was the first chance of him to either one of us to get to victory lane since my dad passed away, and it was definitely emotional for him, and he was trying to hold it together in victory lane, and as was I. So just ended up being a great night for us.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, you bet. Thank
you.
Cool.
And I think we're lucky to have him on next week, correct, if I'm mistaken?
Yeah, so right now it looks like I'll be out of town for work, so you'll get a significant upgrade in co-host. So
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think you both are wonderful. So
well, thank you, man.
Yeah. So and then over at Motown, Marshalltown,
the
other direction.
Yep.
They got some racing in up there for their season opener, and Marshalltown is always another one of those great tracks to watch at, and I know they had some fantastic results over there. So in the modifieds, we saw Tom Berry Jr. Picking up another win.
Yeah, he did. The interesting thing was, correct me if I'm wrong, but were there 8 classes at Marshalltown, or was it only 7?
There might have been 8.
Yeah, so we had modified stock car, sport mod, hobby, mod light, sport compact, and then the pro late model. So 7 classes.
Yes.
So definitely an interesting program to kind of get going.
Yeah,
I think that it went fairly late. But I guess I don't fully know.
It from what I've heard, it did. They, Marshalltown already gets a lot of cars, and then when you start adding more classes, that becomes a lot of cars.
Yeah, well, and from a track's perspective, you certainly understand it, right? More
absolutely.
Cars. More fans, that sort of stuff, and I especially like that pro late model deal. But I've been a part of some racing programs in the past that when they have a special class come in, maybe they give one of the regular classes or 2 of the regular classes a night off. I'm not saying Marshalltown needs to do that, because that's not for me to say. But
no.
Maybe,
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, maybe is a better fan experience to not get over ultra late. So
absolutely. So Tom,
who else won?
We saw Austin Kaplan winning in the stock cars.
Yeah, I think he passed his chassis builder, Johnny Spa, on the last lap from that. I heard.
have heard that as well. I did not get to see it, but
that's what I heard.
We saw another Oskaloosa native pick up a win in the Sport Mods. Dylan Van Wyk picked up a win.
Dylan and his team, they've been on a tear this year to start off. I think
they have been.
I think that's their 3rd or 4th win already in just about as many races. So
and he was tough last year as well. So
absolutely.
It's going to be another year. It looks like for the 117. Starting early with some wins. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. But another name here that is not unfamiliar to Victory Lane, and that we've said before, Eric Knutson in the hobby stock. Eric, another one of those tough customers in that class, and he's one of those guys he goes about anywhere. And when you see that 12K roll up, boy, it's going to be a podium spot almost.
Yeah, he's bringing his A game. That's for sure.
I mean, one of the best hobby stock drivers in the U.S., and he's proved that time and time again. He might not necessarily have all of the accolades of all the Super Nationals wins and stuff, but he is very tough in that 12K car.
Yep.
So
extremely consistent, very fast. Just does a great job. So.
Yes. So we saw Ben George picking up the Mod Light win.
Yeah, I actually work with Ben's brother at Vermeer, so pretty cool to see.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, pretty cool to see him. I know they've been working on that stuff and getting closer every week. So good to see him pick that up.
And then we saw Michael Bunch win the Sport Compacts.
Yep.
And then Nick Marloff wins in the Pro Late Model. And I know Nick's name has been said a few times.
Oh,
He's been
yeah.
around the late model world
Yeah,
and some different.
It's kind of been in that IMCA stuff and some into like the SLMR and some of those series over the years. And they've got a good program, and obviously it paid off Friday night for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, there was some great racing around on Friday night, and it's just going to continue to keep building more and more here as, Mother Nature will allow us here. So, it's just that time of year where when you can get them in, great. If you can't, then you look on. And so Saturday night, we saw our friends down at 34 Raceway. They were lucky enough. The weather hit. They were able to get everything ready to go still down there. And again, another one of those where they have quite a few different classes that run.
Yeah, I think that they also have 7 classes down there last weekend. So
they did, yes.
Again, I don't say that to be mean, because I don't know that their program ran long or anything like that. I think there's a lot of extenuating circumstances between accidents and yellow flags and a lot of things that can influence that. So
from what I was told, they had a great night. Program run great. I know Brad Stevens and his wife and them down there run a very tight ship, a very keep it moving. We're not gonna sit here and do this. Next class, you're up. Next class, you're up. Next heat. So, no, great racing down there. They had the 305 sprints, and Tanner Gebhardt won in the 305s. The mod class, we saw Jace Eckrich win.
Yeah, third generation racer out of the Precision Performance stable. Second year in the modified, and
that's awesome.
And the kid's good.
He's driving the number 50. Was that?
So that was his dad, Denny.
That's right. Yes.
Ran 50 for a lot of years out of the Precision Performance stable in late models and then in modifieds. And Andy was always 56. Now his boy Bryson is running a Sport Mod number 56.
Oh, that's cool.
And then Dave has always been the 58. He's still running the late model this year, but his boy's running number 58 modified as well. So,
oh man, that's so cool when you get those multi-generations.
There's
in there,
three examples of that third generation of racing in that one family, and they're all extremely good.
And it's very rich history with that family and Iowa dirt track racing. I mean, it.
Yeah,
three generations.
You talk about that. The Larry, the patriarch of the Precision Performance, world. I think with, it was at 80. I just saw the trophy there last week. I think 87. They won the national championship. The NASCAR Weekly Racing Series National Championship. And in 1987, I think Andy told me that paid $140,000 or $150,000.
Holy cow!
To win that.
Back then, that was was a lot of money.
Literally 40 years ago, right? So that's pretty amazing that same shop that was producing, winning cars for the last 50 to 60 maybe years, I don't even know exactly, is still doing it in the third generation now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then in sport mods and in stock cars, we had a repeat winner, and he is another one of those that is from that area and always on his A game, and that's John Oliver Jr.
Yeah, he's just hard to beat. Anytime he straps
super smooth. He is so smooth.
Anytime
he's been
he
around
straps into a car, I don't care what it is.
Because sport mods is kind of I don't want to say a newer thing, but it hasn't always been necessarily part of the program.
He's driven that car, a number of years, and then kind of took last year off from it. Dustin Griffiths drove it. But obviously John's back in it this year and picked up right where he left off.
Yeah.
Running really good. So
absolutely. Mini haulers, which is an interesting class.
Yeah, S10s,
down there,
Rangers,
S10s, Rangers,
Dakotas, stuff like that. So
we saw Caleb Ely win in the mini haulers, and then in the dirt late models, Andy Renowski.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
I think
would
I
mess-
got pretty close. So if Andy's listening, I'm sorry if I butchered your last name.
Yeah,
there.
please feel free to chime in with the
please
proper
do.
pronunciation. Buddy.
And then another hobby stock name that has been said in this area for a long time, Randy Lamar.
Yeah.
Picked up a win in the hobby stocks down
good to
there,
see.
so.
You know, obviously all those guys had a great start to their season down there at 34, and then the other racing action we had in the area was down at Scotland County Speedway in Memphis,
Yes.
Missouri. The USMTS cars had a Friday-Saturday twin bill down there. I believe. What did we say?
Tanner Mullins won Friday night, and
after a disqualification
of Rodney Sanders.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Not exactly sure
yeah,
what happened with the disqualification, but
I'm not either. I just heard that had happened. So
Yes.
you know, I don't think that you run and win as many races as Rodney's run and won in that USMTS deal and championships and all that stuff. With having something wrong with the car, so
Right.
Obviously it was whatever it was a fluke deal or something, you know, is going on there. I don't think that's part of his program at all. Then the culmination Saturday night looked like a familiar face. Maybe had returned to victory lane with the USMTS with Cade Dillard, right?
Yes, absolutely. Cade, who's also a car builder as well, has some very good cars out there, and so just nice to see Cade pick up a win. You know, I know he was racing late models there for a long time on both the World Outlaw. I ran some Lucas Oil with it as well, but mainly Outlaw stuff, and you know, kind of had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and now I think he's really focused on the USMTS deal and making some headway there again.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think that it was maybe more of a situation where, you know, he needed to possibly focus on that to continue to build the chassis business. I could be wrong. That's purely my guess, but it's paying off. You know, his cars have always been fast, and he's always done a great job behind the wheel.
Yeah, they have. I mean, and I remember kind of talking to him a little bit about that. He's like, you know, I love racing late models. I love the thrill. I love everything. He's like, but I don't want my chassis company to suffer because that, which I get, you know, as you know, we see a lot of these chassis builders that are also racing, and see a lot of them that race a lot. You know, especially at first when they kind of start that whole chassis deal, and then you see them make that pivot where it's like, hey, I probably shouldn't be racing this much. You know, I'm going to have to step away to start helping people. And you hear some of those stories of, well, I race a lot, but, you know, then I'm not able to give the right support to my customers and whatnot. And so, you know, it just one of those moves where you got to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. So
yeah, and I don't know that there's a right quote unquote thing for anybody. You're right. I think everybody's situation is slightly different with the way their business is run and that sort of stuff. So that pretty much wraps up the wrap up.
Yeah, it does. And you know, another interesting thing we had happen over was there was another disqualification in the World Outlaw late models that happened. Shannon Babb got disqualified, and I know that there was a statement released almost immediately from them saying, hey, we had just bought these tires off the Hoosier truck that day. All we did was, you know, degrease them, get them ready to go.
So they use some sort of chemical to get the mold release off the outside of the tire as opposed to just washing it with soap and water. And you know, you hate to see that, but
you do.
But at the same
it
time,
happens at the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, you know, it's not the first time that it's happened. It's obviously the first time it's happened to him, but you know, we've seen that from a number of teams over the years. So it's just a little bit disappointing. The other thing, speaking of late models, Lucas Oil was in action last weekend. We had Devin Moran win in Friday night. And then Brandon Shepard won Saturday night.
No surprise with hearing either of those names returning to a victory lane.
Both of those guys are top of their game right now. So
they are, absolutely. I mean, it's, you know, when you start talking about looking at people who could potentially be in those spots later in the year for a championship. I mean, now's the time where you really got to make that headways right at the beginning, it seems, and really start pushing as hard as you can towards those points.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You know, the momentum that you can build at this point in the season is going to pay dividends down the stretch in the heat of summer.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great racing coming up this week yet too.
Yeah,
tomorrow
absolutely.
night at the Southern Iowa Speedway is the season opener. And, you know, they're going to have the new Crown Vic class.
Yeah, be exciting.
Sport Compacts. You'll see Seth Minders and the 65 who we interviewed tonight out there racing in that class. You have Sport Mods, Stock Cars, Hobby Stocks. So they have decided to axnay the non-wing sprint cars, and the Crown Vics have now filled that spot. So a lot of great classes. Going to be some great racing action at the Southern Iowa Speedway tomorrow night.
Yeah, they had a really nice practice Saturday afternoon out there.
They did.
Had a good amount of cars show up for that. Very good looking cars. Great looking group of cars.
I love Mike Sitzma's car. And if you don't know who Mike Sitzma is, he runs Bates Funeral Home, and he has the Undertaker on the hood of the car, and it looks like lightning bolts all down the side of it.
It is. It's a great play on
Hopefully
his
he
profession.
can keep it that way.
And he's an awesome dude, and I know he's so looking forward to it. And
yeah,
we talked Saturday night, and he just had a whale of a good time. You know,
and the car was all in one piece. Still, so that's a win.
And I told him, I said, man, you look like you were doing pretty darn good out there. So now, obviously, it's different when they unleash 20 other guys with you.
Right.
But yeah, it's exciting. Lots of storylines for us to follow during the year here in Southeast Iowa, and just really looking forward to it.
It is, and don't forget about the other tracks you can see in action this week as well. Columbus Junction, Lee County Speedway, 34 Raceway, Marshalltown, Boone.
Obviously Knoxville. I think that Eddyville had a test and tune last week, and I think that their first events this weekend. So,
and don't forget Knoxville this Saturday night is free entry, courtesy of Pella Motors, Craig Ford. It's their season opener finally happening. So that's amazing that, you know, we have Craig Ford, Craig Chevy here in town, Pella Motors and Pella, all one group owned by Craig Ford, and for him to step up to the plate and say, hey, everyone gets in free, you know, for the season opener, that's pretty special for a lot of race fans that, you know, might not be able to make it out for budget constraints and stuff, where they can all go enjoy a race, you know, take someone new with you that's never been.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
a
the
great opportunity.
Great time to do that. Get them hooked now. So
yeah, absolutely. You know, that's, in my opinion, that's, as race fans, that's the best thing any of us can do is grab somebody and take them with you. You know, create more race fans all the time.
And Sunday afternoon, it's not big car stuff. We're not on a giant track, but out at my shop at the barn, 1RC is going to be racing out there. So
awesome.
We start at 2. So come out, enjoy a good time out at the barn. We'll have some good RC car racing. We'll have the TVs going with some races on as well. So just looking forward to a good time this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, sounds great.
Alrighty, fans. Well, that's everything we have here on TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. We want to thank you all for joining us here. Again, you can watch this later on Skunk River Radio as well, and we just want to thank all of our wonderful sponsors who help us go each and every week. Again, thank you to the Rock Island Tap for allowing us to come up here and invade your upstairs for just an hour, a brief moment in time for us. So we just want to thank you, and we will see you all at the races.
And we do thank Rock Island Tap for being our host venue, Sigourney Motors, Copeland Auto Body, Nutrien Ag Solutions in Keswick, James Family Greenhouse, Sigourney Body Shop, Oski Dental, Signs Plumbing, and Vans Racing for all being sponsors. Next week here on the Tuesday Night Tune-Up, we will have the Southern Iowa Speedway Season Point champ Tyler Graves from the Non-Wing Sprinters on as our guest. So tune in for a new guest making his debut here on the Tuesday Night Tune-Up coming up next week at the Rock Island Tap. We'll see you then.